Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird in New York City. This video is called Owen Benjamin Kills and Eats Souls. It's a video I'm commenting on. It's hashtag 509, the ancient art of fear, the spells that bind us. It's the Owen Benjamin channel. Owen Benjamin said, you chop the animals' heads off. Owen Benjamin said that he chops the animals' heads off, then eats them. Does he feel what he's saying? That animals have feelings? He said, you're not an animal. You still have your soul. So Benjamin thinks he's better than animals because he has a soul and they do not have souls. That's the danger of ignorance. Animals are souls that are in animal bodies, because either they are not good enough to deserve a human form, or they were humans and didn't deserve a human form in their next birth because they became animals when they were humans by behaving like an animal, that is, lacking empathy and chopping off somebody's head. Somebody with feelings head, or by consuming an animal, and that animal taken into him becomes a part of him. So he becomes an animal. You say to become part animal because you eat animals. Gets you into an animal form as soon as possible, your next birth. Westerners are at a huge disadvantage because they are so ignorant. Example, ignorant of reincarnation. Everything animate and inanimate have souls. That's how they get to exist. Indeed, there are souls you can't see because they didn't earn any physical form. Trees have souls. Watermelons have souls. Houseflies have souls, etc. The saints reveal to us that there are souls, invisible souls, in the air. When we open our mouths, we take souls into our mouths, into our houses, inside of our bodies. They tell us we step on souls when we walk. Souls aren't rare. Souls are everywhere. There are 8,400,000 species of souls a human can be. A soul can be, that should be. Species, yeah. What is rare is getting a human birth, and Planned Parenthood organization removes the human forms from 40 million souls every year. Mothers, on their partner's creation, they kill their own babies. Imagine how long that soul energy has been striving to get to be a human where you can have empathy and do good, and by doing good, earn good karma to make you have a good life, a loving husband or wife, and good little children as they follow in your unconscious footsteps. Unless you remain conscious, live in the present, talk and share can help you do that, and model true behavior for your children to emulate, and you have a happy family. That way you'll have a happy family. That can happen in a human birth. And your next life, you get an even better family and personal character. Excuse me. And you get to live in human forms until births and deaths no longer go on. Earth becomes heaven full blown. And you keep the same forms. Aging stops at 39, and life goes on, so long as you are happy and you choose to bypass dying. You never have to leave a grieving spouse behind because you copped out and ended up buying into dying, having no idea that as a human you're at the top. If you choose to die, you're going to go low to some unspeakable, horrific pain place for your soul. In the YouTube video, banned several times, the science behind the law of attraction. The law of attraction unveiled. That's the name of this video. It's a long title. The scientist hosting the video explains to the audience that in the 4th century, the Emperor Constantine removed 44 books from the Bible, even the ones that talked about reincarnation and the ones that contained the writings of brilliant women. Owen Benjamin mocks people who have accepted the lie. But look at the lies he's accepted. That animals are not souls. That it's perfectly human to chop off some harmless, armless, helpless creature's head and eat him. That kombucha doesn't contain alcohol. That's another lie. I used to drink kombucha, and then I found out it contains alcohol. I stopped drinking it. I haven't had anything to drink since 1970. Owen says, you're good if you follow the rules of Christendom, yet he doesn't follow the thou shalt not kill rule. He's not at fault. He's programmed. You can get all the protein your body needs from raw spinach, beans and rice, and dairy, excluding would-be chickens, eggs. But if he was in tune with his conscience, with his feelings, he'd cringe at the idea of chopping off somebody's head. He's numb, clearly. Plus, his misinformation tells him he's not committing a sin, a moral crime. But ignorance of the law is no excuse if he kills helpless animals, smushes to the back of his mind his crime. He'll wind up a goat or a bear, and if he could think, he would wonder why and how he ever got into that animal life. Open hell. He says, supremacist is a flaw. Benjamin, by his own admission, is flawed because he thinks he is supreme as a human being to the animal. He has a soul, and the animal does not. It's not, Benjamin, that you have a soul. You are a soul. You are a soul, a spiritual being having a human experience. An animal is a soul, a spiritual being having an animal experience. Spinach is a soul having a vegetable experience. A rock is a soul having a rock experience. A rock is a soul, a spiritual being having a rock experience, etc. Benjamin says, it's insane to think my children are better than your children, so I'm going to kill them and take your house. The bodies are houses, shelter for the forms of energy. Yet he thinks it's fine to take the houses of weaker species, goats, chickens, etc. As I sit at breakfast and lunch and watch the other residents here at St. Francis of Assisi Residence 3 devouring dead houses, I know they're insane, that they can do that and not gag or vomit. Insanity I discovered when I was the German psychiatrist Fritz Perls is out of context. Eating someone's house is about as out of context as you can get, about as insane as you can get. Benjamin says his children have just as much right to be alive. No, Benjamin says other children have just as much right to be alive as his children. Yet he thinks nothing of stealing Henrietta Chicken's unborn children, eggs, or chopping off Henrietta's head and eating her, figuring she has no right to be alive, figuring he's so superior her life should serve to feed him, though it's not necessary to eat dead animals to be healthy. In fact, there's a lot to be said about colon cancer and eating dead animals. There are millions of vegetarians in almost every nation. Indeed, vegetarians on average live 14 years longer than meat, fish, and egg eaters. Benjamin says, you can't fight reality. The reality is Benjamin's a cannibal. As an animal, he kills and eats other animals. Yet he fights knowing this is the reality of the meaning of his behavior and that of his wife and children. Children decode it. Consciousness, his will, Dr. Eve enter. Dr. Eve wants, this says Dr. Eve enters the energy of a doctor. Eve enters the energy of a doctor. Okay. Dr. Eve wants Dr. Schweitzer has compassion for the weaker of our species. When Eve was Dr. Einstein's projection, he was a vegetarian. Eve, the Michelle Birdsong, has been a lacto-vegetarian since 1970. That means no meat, no fish, no eggs. 2 of her 3 children, Sing and Robin, have been vegetarians most of their lives. Benjamin says, you don't get to go in and take another home because you think your kids are on the honor roll. That's the problem. Your problem, Benjamin, is that what you do when you take animals' bodies, that's what you do when you take animals' bodies, eat them, and feed them to your children. That means you think your children are on the honor roll, and the other children, the other animal bodies you eat are beneath you. Benjamin says that's the break of Logos. Indeed it is, Benjamin. What you're doing makes no sense. Logos is reasoning. The soul is what animates, enlivens the bodies. Bodies decode it. Benjamin orders other animal body dies. You see? It's there in writing. You can't hide from reality. Isn't that what Benjamin said? Benjamin said, do not kill your own children. He means don't do abortion. Do not have serial sex. No sex outside of wedlock. This is good advice. Grow, create, love, honor, pray. I wrote P-R-A-Y, not P-R-E-Y. The hitman is in your own mind. Note, I said, he touches his right temple. Benjamin says, and it's been programmed for a long, long time. That's another thing in the Quran. And he says he's not preaching Islam. There is elements of Logos in most religions. But I have to get to original sources, else I don't know the deceptions. There's been too many revealed to me lately, says Benjamin, for me to go off on what I've seen on television. Have you seen everybody eating this is what I say. Have you, Benjamin, seen everybody eating the houses of the weaker souls and nobody defending this almost worldwide slaughter of the weaker kinds? Benjamin says there's been way too many deceptions for him to quote other people. He's going by what I say. He's going by what other people have told and showed him when he beheads armless chickens. If he listened to his conscience and his feelings without repeating the lies, the programming that animals have no souls, He would never butcher and devour a soul in animal form. Neither would he allow mostly dogs as if they were a friend in his home. No, it's not mostly, that's nasty. He wouldn't allow nasty dogs into his home. Aren't there enough humans to befriend and invite to sit on your couch without having furry animals scratching fleas to breed near where you sleep? Then there's the part about them licking their behinds, then licking your mouth as if your mouth's no different from a dog's ass, as if what comes out your mouth is the same as a dog's ass full of shit. Sorry, Owen, you're not really the hot shit you think you are. Owen quotes Islam's attitude, be responsible for what goes in your eyes and ears. What about being responsible for what goes in your mouth? You don't think that animal you killed isn't drenched in fear? Then you eat that animal and his fear. Don't wonder people have so much, no wonder people don't, let's get this straight. No wonder people have so much fear in them. Is that why you, Benjamin, build that big fence around your property and why you have so many guns? Owen says, don't watch porn. Don't watch trauma. Does he not watch the trauma of the chicken whose head he's about to cut off? Doesn't he notice the chicken is traumatized? Benjamin says, you have responsibility for what's going into your eyes and ears, as if he doesn't see and hear the wails of fear coming from the animal he's about to slaughter. The same is true for the people who make movies about the horrors they commit, changed to look like deranged characters in some strange circumstance. Benjamin says the average person has the trauma of a former warrior just by watching all these movies and TV. In this video, he puts in our eyes and ears a scene in a movie about a father who comes home and shoots his children. Is Benjamin asleep in his seat, unconscious, on his feet, or just an everyday hypocrite like most people? All is vanity. He's vain because he doesn't live in a city. Yeah, he's very proud that he doesn't live in a city and thinks we're all fools who do. The hitman is ourselves, says Benjamin. Forever? Is that forever? No, it's former. He was Lieutenant General President Ulysses S. Grant. How many hits did he order when he was Grant? And Benjamin was Lenny Bruce, who died shooting up heroin. Benjamin says of his life, or rather brags that his life he is living now is Logos, is honoring God. Who thinks God is happy that man, who he gave dominion over the animals, is a hitman, instead of taking care not to harm the animals? Whenever he comes near he alarms certain animals and fills them with fear. Is Benjamin betraying God's trust while preaching to us how to live our lives? He says he loves us. Benjamin says he loves us, and we should be good. How can he love us? He doesn't even know us. He doesn't even know who he's talking to. He sounds like some Hollywood celebrity trying to ingratiate himself to us so we'll watch him again. The saints warn us, you cannot love what you don't understand. God sent his son Jesus Christ and his daughter Eve to earth to be among us so we could get to know them by listening to their words which are true, thereby getting to know Him, as they are extensions of Him, God. I would say that Owen Benjamin is brave for appearing before the public, where he can be publicly critiqued. I hope he learns one thing before the next time he speaks. Do unto others as you have them do to you. The saints tell us, what you eat today will one day eat you. When the soul in the animal body that you killed and ate becomes a soul having a human experience, he's going to eat you one day. Oh, I got it. Okay. This is Smile Red Songbird. I wanted to give you the information because you have to pay for your moral crimes, whether you know it or not. Whether you know what you're doing is a crime or not. So I wanted you to know for sure. And Owen Benjamin gave me the opportunity to speak to you about eating dead animal bodies and hurting harmless animals. Alright, so I'll make another video when I have more to say. So long.